So today we're going to be having a convo. I already told you we're talking about money, and if it's money, let's not waste time because money actually has wings, it flies. So the more I talk, the more the money is going. Anna will say that's just how it goes. So Mr. Osu, money system, understanding money as a system. How does that even work?
All right. So good morning to your listeners and viewers. When we talk of money as a system, the focus should not be on the paper currency that we are looking for. You know, of course, when you want people to talk about money, they will just define money as a legal tender,
yes,
you know, as a medium of exchange. I mean, that is a limited, you know, understanding of money. You see, I always emphasize on understanding. Whatever you want to control, you need to understand it.
Okay.
The first thing you need to do is understand that it's a system. And when we talk of system, there are two things. System could represent a set of processes.
Set of processes?
Or procedures by which you get something done. So if you go to an organization can have a system. Every organization has a system. Then you can also look at system as a complex whole with various sub-units, and each of the units working or performing its function to achieve the collective, you know, goal. So, I mean, when you talk of money, put the paper aside. So the paper is just a reflection of a system that you don't see.
Great.
And the system starts with you as a person. That is where it starts from. And I think today, for the sake of time, I will focus on you as a person. The human being is a complex system on this earth. There is no human system that can be compared to the human being. Now, every money that comes to you at the end of the month, it's simply a reflection of who you have become. The money that comes to you is not as a result of the amount of money in circulation. Okay, so, I mean, if you're a doctor, there are various categories of doctors. So if you are a medical doctor, you deal with general treatment. The money that comes to you might be different from somebody who does open heart surgery.
Which is like a specification.
Specification.
Yeah.
And so I always tell people that at the end of the month, if they give you 5,000 cedis as a worker, the money is just a reflection of who you have become. And there are three key things that you look at when it comes to you. You're looking at your mindset, your heart set, and your skill set. These are the three key things. So if you really want to take charge, or if you really want to understand money, the first thing is just understand, first get into your mindset. What is a blueprint? What is your understanding about money? How do you see it? What is your perception? What is your money orientation? Because that is what is going to affect you. That is why I always say that from my teenage years, I have not seen myself as a Ghanaian. I have not seen myself as an African. I mean, these are descriptors. I'm simply a human being trying to find my fullest expression. And because I have left beyond the consciousness of, you know, this country, I mean, I try not to think in terms of what is here.
Yeah.
And that is why I always tell people that when you were in class 1, you were struggling with class 1 work. When you go to class 6, the class 1 work remains the same. But because you have been elevated to class 6, you do the class 1 work with ease.
Really easily.
So when you are within the consciousness of this country, you think like a Ghanaian, you think like the challenges that you have here, you're still going to be grounded by those challenges. The most important thing is that you elevate your consciousness beyond this country. And that is why I always say that if money is a system, it starts from you as a human being, and you are a complex system. It starts from your mindset, your heart set, and then your skill set. Every money that comes to you draws on these three key aspects of you.
Great. I want us to look at these three: mindset, heart set, and skill set.
That's right.
We normally would talk about skill set. The systems of this government or this country will look at skill set of people trying to make it better, bring TVETs and all these STEM, all these products, programs to, improve people's skill set, leaving out the heart set and the mindset. So how do we, maximize the potential or our own potential, looking at these two specifically, the mindset and the heart set?
Good.
What actually makes up the heart set?
All right. So the heart set talks about your emotional dispositions and then behavioral dispositions. You know,
Okay.
let me give you a quick example. I think some years ago I was having a heated debate with one of my friends. Very intelligent, very brilliant guy. And the argument was that, I mean, there are a lot of Ghanaian young guys who have ideas, but they don't have money. And I'm saying, no, it's not true. If you have an idea and you want to put that idea to work, you cannot complain that there's no money in the system. If that idea is good enough, any capital that you don't build, I mean, it becomes very difficult to sustain. And he was having this heated argument with me. Fortunately, he got a grant. And when he got a grant, I was in the office one day, and then he just came to the office, and I saw that he had changed his wedding ring. Come on, have you seen my wedding ring? See my phone. I mean, I said,
Because a grant came
the
through.
grant had come. So he said, he said, if you come into my room, Charlie, you'll be shocked. I have changed everything in my room. And then I have also bought new stuff.
But the ideas are still hanging.
I have subscribed for DSTV for a year. So I said, okay, so how much did you receive, and how much do you intend to invest in the business? And so he told, I've spent days, and then I want to invest this. I said, let me tell you, you are my friend. You are speaking in December. By January, this business will collapse. It will not survive. He felt that I was negative. And so I was part of his board, so he just removed me from the website. He didn't want to talk to me again. Okay. In January, when he was launching his project, he had nothing. And I told him, I said, you know this product, you know the name in marketing? This product is not going to make it in the market. It's going to die within the next 1 month, and you can't even sell 5 copies. If you sell 5 copies of this product, just come and laugh at me. True to my words, nothing. He was not able to sell any of them because the basis was wrong. So, personally, he had an issue. His behavioral disposition to money was wrong, and that is why I challenge most of the young guys who keep complaining about politicians squandering money. I'm telling you that most of the young guys listening to me, if you expose them to $10,000, they will even collapse. They cannot even think because of the energy that comes with it. I remember I was speaking with my landlord. He said he was the one who oversaw the construction of Kempinski. He said, my brother, when the money came, I could not hear anything. I was deaf. I could not hear anything because I was controlling billions of dollars. Can you imagine this project? He said, my bro, I could not know if anybody talks. I don't hear.
Because money is talking louder.
It's louder in his ears until he came back to ground zero and he had to pick up from the pieces. And so it's much of attitude than the papers. And that's why I always encourage people that if you want to have mastery, if you want to really understand the concept of money, the first thing is make sure you ground yourself here. Understand yourself, understand the heartset, build the right mental attitude and then the right emotional attitude towards money. Because if we hand over $1 million to most of the young guys in Ghana here, I bet you either it's going to kill them or most of them will not even live to see within the next 2-3 years.
They're gonna blow it like we're spreading in a red sheet, we're painting the town red, that kind of thing. Like they're chilling, going to the clubs and all of that, and they're probably on Monday or Tuesday when the money is finished, they're like, what? We woke up like that. Yeah. So I see. So now it's mindset, mainly spending time. If I'm going back to a conversation we had, spending time with self, knowing the things that you can do, the things that you can outsource, external information that you can feed yourself with. Over the weekend, I actually was listening to somebody. The person said that we are being fed every day, but what we allow to feed us. Okay. So our body is being fed with food.
That's right.
In our soul, in our spirit is also being fed. Exactly. Now, when you watch all these social media thingies, they call it feed. Facebook feed. Something feed.
Feeding you.
So they're giving you food you're consuming without you knowing. And then over time, it shapes your mindset. So you now want to think a certain way, or you now want to do things a certain way because of what you've been fed with. So what the self doesn't do is to decide what to feed on. Yeah. Right. So that's what actually brings up the mindset. And then we're talking heartset, which is emotional intelligence, behavioral expositions, and then skill set. could there be a situation where your skill set is in the wrong place, that thereby killing how much money comes to you? Are there young people who are found in such unfortunate situations, and how do you ever get out?
You see, the whole thing starts with the awareness, and it's rather unfortunate that in our part of the world we don't value information. You know, I mean, I told you that I've started the Virtual Mind University.
Yes.
I mean, the Virtual Mind University is to help people to pay attention to their mindset.
You should go to the Virtual Mind University. It's not something to extort money from you. It is something to reshape your mind,
exactly,
to become the person God originally ordained you to be. Because I tell you have lots of potentials. It's only people who see and tell you that, oh, yeah, well, I think that you have this potential. But what are you doing about it? First is to go to the Mind University. Put your mind to work, good work. I just advertise for you. Yeah, and I think that it's a great initiative to work on the mind. Because now people are just thinking a certain way. We're talking about politicians doing whatever, but when we put a young person, the person might even do worse. I totally agree with you.
You know,
yeah.
Because if you look at the young guys, if you listen to them, if you watch their orientation, I think there are a lot of deficits when it comes to their maturity and their behavior. But of course, they have the guts to talk about these people. I mean, we are not saying that the leaders are perfect. We are not saying that, I mean, they are doing so well. We have their challenges. But
that's right.
I always say that things that we don't have control, we just let it be and see what we can do. And so, like I was saying, it has to be a conscious effort. I mean, I always tell people that, with where I'm staying in Accra now, for the past 5 months, I have not switched on the TV. You see, how do you control your space so that, like you said, you feed on what you want to feed on? That is very key. And it's a process that people are not really committed to, but it really, really works. I'm telling you, because for me, I have been able to navigate through the challenges of life, because at any point in time, I try as much as possible to get control over this.
Yeah.
Because if you allow the world to program you, and like you said, every word we see in the world is coded.
True.
I mean, can you think about the fact that Facebook has moved to Meta? Meta means beyond. So Facebook now goes beyond what you see. I mean, by you watching Facebook, the algorithms is able to process your thought patterns, go beyond, get into your cognitive dimensions. And even, like you said, it goes beyond you presenting your picture. At first it was pictures.
Yes, just pictures.
But now Facebook is now Meta. True. The word meta in Greek means beyond. So they are going beyond, and like I said, they are feeding you in a subtle way. And of course, so those of us who are in Africa here, I can tell you that there are certain feeds you will not get in Africa. But when you are in Europe, you can get. One of my friends, a lecturer in the university, testified in UK. He said when he came to Ghana, there are so many feeds that he didn't even get. Even on YouTube. When he was in UK, there are certain feeds that he was getting. And again, this goes to the fact that there is this, deliberate attempt to keep the African mind
a certain way.
And it's subtle. It's very, very subtle, because the slavery is still going on, but in a subtle way. This time it's not force, but in a very subtle way. And it's very powerful than even you can imagine.
I see. Well, it's amazing how the mind works. This is a great conversation. You don't want to go nowhere. Let's go for a break, and then when we get back, the conversation will continue. Welcome back. Mind Conversation. I don't even want to spoil it. Let's just continue. Yeah. So now we've looked at mindsets, the heart sets, and the skill sets. Okay. Right. What next? After looking at all of these things, and then that's for the human being. How do we fix that into a system, or how do we run that as a system that generates money for us?
I mean, it works naturally, because the moment you start paying attention to yourself, you know where to, exert your energies and stuff, where you fit, And so when I realized that my product is knowledge, my product is information, so over the years I had to really work on, building myself, making sure that I access the right information, especially understanding the various systems that has influenced our thinking. So, like you said, naturally, the moment you understand the self, everything around you starts to make meaning for you. You will definitely know where you have to step into.
I'm going to get back to the question.
Yeah.
Do we need money to start a business?
Of course. I mean, you're talking about needing money to start a business. I mean, of course, you need money to start a business. But, like I told you the other time, I mean, there are other things you have to look out for. Because there are a lot of people who think it's the first thing they think about. If you think about it first, it has a way of affecting you. But the other things that have to come before the money. Like I told you the other time, you can't say that, okay, you want to build this business, and then you are not in sync with that business idea. I mean, the basics has to be right. I mean, you can't just walk into even a bank or even talk to an investor when you are not in sync with the idea. So, for instance, we want to build a physical mind development university. That is what we want to build. So you imagine building a university of such sort. Look at the land, the facilities. We are talking about millions of cities. Okay, so is the money there? No. So as you drill down the idea, you realize that, okay, before you talk about the physical structure, what is available for you to use? Now we are using the virtual mind university. So the virtual mind university gives us a platform to test the proposed models at a very cheaper cost, because all I need is just a phone, a ring light, and just speak virtually.
That's right.
So most of the times we think that we need this money, so somebody will just start going about looking for land, looking for investor. No.
So start it with the things that you have.
The ideas have to be tested.
That's
first.
right.
And I don't need much money to do that. I mean, connect with people via the internet and talk to them, and then as you build your community, then you meet an investor. They ask you questions. Your models are ready.
You have something to show for
it, and then you can understand how you're going to scale it up.
Look, I told you that when we're having hard conversations, you don't need to go nowhere, because we're talking about money. So we just realized that you don't need money actually to start a business. You need to test the ideas first. You need to do it on a smaller scale, like the way production is done on a regular scale, so that we know if it is viable, if it can stand the test of time, then we can know what to invest in it and all of that. These are things that you need on a beautiful Monday morning. This conversation is not over, so I've put a pause on it.
Right. Yeah.
Put a pause on this.